Do you think the Dolphins are the most dangerous team in the AFC wildcard race?
Oh, most dangerous team in the AFC wildcard race. They are dangerous, but I wouldn't say the most dangerous. I don't necessarily believe totally in Tua to win games with his arm. I would have to go with the New England Patriots. And I can't sit here and say that I totally believe in Mac Jones as well, but the kid's very accurate. And when you look at the New England Patriots team, they have two elements that I love when you talk about playoff time. They run the football, and they have great defense. They have a pass rush. They have a suffocating defense. They can stop the run. They have a cornerback in J.C. Jackson who can shut down your number one receiver. And defense and run game travels, right? And so when you look at the National Football League and how teams win and lose games, most teams lose the game. There aren't many teams that just play mistake-free. When you look at the way the New England Patriots play, they play fundamentally sound. They play a physical brand of football, and that's what that's what opposing teams think about when they think about playing New England Patriots. So I love the Colts too, but if I had to pick a team in the AFC wildcard right now, it'd have to be the Patriots. That'd be the team I wouldn't want to play.
Yeah, look, I got to give the Dolphins credit. I know that game wasn't against Drew Brees and Michael Thomas and whoever else, but 8 sacks is 8 sacks. The Dolphins absolutely dominated a team they should have dominated on the road. And yet I can't look at that team from last night with that offense and say they're the most dangerous team. I don't know if that team, if they're down 10 points, is going to be able to light it up and keep up. One team that I saw Saturday night in person and watched the Saturday night before that, Indianapolis Colts. You mentioned them, Mike. The adversity that they're facing right now, they had 4 offensive linemen missing in their win over the Cardinals on Saturday night. And Jonathan Taylor still gobbled up more than 100 yards. This is a team that has been through a lot. They started off 0-3. They were 1-4. And now in back-to-back weeks, they have beaten the Patriots and the Cardinals on Saturday nights. And they hung with the Buccaneers before the Bucs got the best of them. And when they needed Wentz to make a play in the fourth quarter in a one-score game, Carson Wentz on Saturday night threw one of the prettiest passes and most difficult passes we've seen from any quarterback when he hit Patman in the back of the end zone and put that game away. The Colts, they're going to get back Quentin Nelson. They're going to get back Darius Leonard. And they still have the best back in football in Jonathan Taylor. I don't think anyone wants to face the Indianapolis Colts. They're hungry, they're mean, they're really well coached, and they've been through a lot already. That by the time they get to January, things are going to be a lot smoother than they were in December, where they were still winning games.
I think you're right, Peter. I think dangerous, you have to talk about the Colts. I think they're scary to play. I think you hate to see them on your schedule right now. But this year is a very bizarre year for the AFC in particular, because typically we as a show right now are saying, there's this team that's coming running, and they started terrible the first 2 months, but man, they've won 4 in a row, and they're on the outside looking in, but if they can get some breaks, maybe they can get in, and no one wants to... That team isn't really there. If you look at the teams that are out of the picture right now, do any of these teams scare you? Denver, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, the Raiders, the Chargers, the Ravens. These are all teams that are really struggling. They're not with this head of steam. Maybe the Raiders, I guess. But I'll bring it back. I do think the answer is the Colts. But I just want to take a second to talk about the Dolphins, because I think they're the most interesting team. Kay said it. I've said it. 7-game losing streak, 7-game winning streak. Unbelievably bizarre. And the way that they're doing it is not something that's really able to put a finger on it. It's not stats-based. They play with an edge on defense. They kind of just make plays. And their entire offense goes through a rookie wide receiver. Not a Wookiee, that's a Star Wars. A rookie wide receiver. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this. Like, they don't really run the ball. They don't have this crazy number 2. It's just Waddle. Waddle left, Waddle right, Waddle up and down the field. And again, I'm trying to think of a comp. You know, everyone keeps comparing him to Anquan Bolden when he came out. That was a different team. That is not built like this, and we've seen some great rookie wideouts, but I just don't know if this is sustainable. Now listen, they beat Lamar Jackson on a Thursday night and more or less derailed the Ravens season. I don't know if the Ravens have been the same since then for a lot of different reasons. So it's not that like they've completely just played a bunch of cupcakes, but this is the team. I think they're going to the playoffs. I really do. Is this the team on a Monday morning after the wild card round where we're going to say, oh my gosh, the Dolphins beat Buffalo, or they beat some team that we think is going to coast through that round? I don't know, because I think they're almost unprecedented. 7 losing, 7 winning. It is a full theater mask of smiling face, frowny face. Colts are the most dangerous, but I think the Dolphins are the most intriguing.
Yeah, it's who don't you want to see? That's the right way to look at it, and that's how you guys are looking at it. So if you're the Titans or you're the Bengals, like who in that column? I don't want to see the Chargers. I think there's genuinely something dangerous about not knowing what to expect week to week. They're dangerous to other teams and they're dangerous to themselves because we've seen them lose to some really good ones. But at their best, they can contend. This is the team that took down the Chiefs. This is the team that took down the Bengals. This is the team that also lost, of course, to the Texans and got beat up by the Broncos. But at their best, and when Herbert is clicking, I think they're just a little bit more terrifying. I'm pulling for the Chargers, if I'm the Bengals and the Titans, to stay. Plant yourselves. Buy a house in the hunt column. Don't rent. Don't be able to move. I don't want to see them in the wild card round. They can legitimately, in my opinion, take down anyone when things are clicking for them. And I'd rather face the Dolphins, I think. And I'd rather face the Raiders or one of the other teams. What do you guys think? At GMFB with your thoughts on the AFC wildcard race. Who's most dangerous?